Hello, my chickadees. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Yes, today we're going to be reading a Danmei. I know. I am so excited. This is actually one I have read before. It's been a few years, but I really enjoyed it. So I'm looking forward to sharing it with you guys. Let's see. Alright, this is called The Submissive Emperor. It is 102 chapters, so if we get into liking it... Oh, go on, Kitty! Kitty was on my desk trying to jump away. But if we get into liking it, we can come back and read some more. It's actually not that long for a Danmei. Let's see. Whee! Okay, I gotta fix myself. Ah! My cat hit buttons. Okay. There we go. There we go. I look much better, I promise. There we go. Alright, we're gonna jump on in and read some. Hey, Ohilia! How you doing today? Yeah. My cat hit some buttons, so Avatar was freaking out a little bit. Does he look better now? There we go. Much better. Alright. Alright. We're gonna jump on in and start reading. This is a fun little book from what I remember, but we're gonna jump on in. If the music gets too loud, please let me know. The Submissive Emperor. Chapter 1. A Forced Marriage. The 17th day of the 8th month in the 10th year of the Chung Emperor's reign. It was late autumn, but the days were still hot and muggy. Grandy Zan sat on a Zang. I will be translating stuff to try to say it right. Zhang. Okay, Zhang. All your video's volume is low. Okay. Hang on, I will fix that. Bum 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 bum. Is that any better? Can you hear me a bit better now? Alright, the audio should be a bit better now. Yes, okay. Heck yeah, heck yeah. There we go. I'm trying to keep everything balanced. It's my first time playing music over top of it. Dun, 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 dun. Okay. Man, the music really kicked off, didn't it? Okay, let's jump back in this. I got distracted by music. Granny Zhang sat on a rattan chair in the hallway. Her coarse, fat fingers picked up a watermelon seed and brought it to her mouth. She opened her mouth, revealing 2 rows of uneven teeth, put the seed between them, and released the nut from its shell with a loud crack. She sped out the shell with force, then glanced at Junji? Okay. This is gonna be a lot of me translating, so I hope you guys are ready. The music is on the same one in the game, Legend of Phoenix. Oh, that's fun. Let's see. Junja. Shunsha. Okay. Why are they roasting her so hard? Not even one line. Already hit with the fat fingers. Junja, who was standing 2 steps away. Miss, you've come at the wrong time. Furin is not feeling well today. Furin refers to the Gong's wife. It is also a general term for legitimate wives of the nobility. Gyulgong. A gong is a high-ranking position in the aristocracy. Okay, I can't talk today, guys. Loosely akin to a duke. Yi means lord. Gyulgong is one of the types of gong, and according to a reader, it can be translated as Imperial Duke, which is a higher rank than the usual gong peerage. Thanks, Eugene! Okay. So, we're working with somebody high up in the thing. Shunsha. Thank you. Shunsha. You want to come back over here and cuddle? Oh my goodness, my cat's trying to figure out what he wants to do. He's an orange cat, so his brain goes burr. Okay. Shunsha. Gyulgong Yi has instructed the servants to boil ginseng soup. We don't even have a 30-year-old ginseng right now, let alone a 50-year-old ginseng, Granny Zhang said. Zhang. Shunsha. Almond's eyes widened into round saucers as she glared at the fat old granny. If looks could kill, she had bored a hole through the granny's body. Zhang, Mama, please don't joke around. The Gyulgong's residence has tons of ginseng. Even if we ate them all as if they were carrots, there's no way we'd finish all the ginseng here in a single morning. This is an entitled brat, I can tell. Young miss, you've never run a household before, so naturally you don't have a good handle on those things. May I remind you, we're about to prepare for the wedding dowry for Jing. Jing is the heir apparent of a duke, usually the oldest son. The Jing in this case is his heir apparent. Okay. I think it's like G. We're learning Chinese today. G. E. Shizi. Okay. I feel like the music is still too loud. It might just be I have mine turned up. Shizi. And at that point, we probably won't even have carrots to eat, Granny Zhang said, a beautiful smile on her face as she emphasized the words wedding dowry. That smile revealed those uneven yellow teeth again. Then Mama should boil a few more carrots. If times become that hard, you should go to Zhuxi Hall and kowtow to the Jiji. He might spare you a mouthful of food if you do. Oh my god, she's a brat. I have trouble reading Danmei novels too, but I need to learn. It's different whenever you're speaking it out loud versus in your head. Because in your head, you're like, okay, that word, I know what that word means. But, like, actually pronouncing it is different. So I love Danmei, it's just, this is a struggle. Shuenjia. I don't like her name. Shuenjia said in an acid tone. She knew that she wasn't going to get any ginseng from Granny Zhang today, so there's no point in being polite. She took out an ice silk handkerchief and dabbed elegantly at the sweat on her jaw, then turned to leave. People say that wicked women have awful teeth, and today I've seen for myself that's true, she said as she walked away, addressing the servant girl next to her. She is a witch with a bee. Right there. Bitch, who are you talking about? Granny Zhang heard what Shunsha said and immediately jumped up from her chair. Shunsha maintained her leisurely pace. Her shoes were the color of soft yellow gosling down, and they glistened in the afternoon sun. I'm talking about whoever Mama thinks I'm talking about, she said with an insincere laugh. Granny Zhang was furious, but she did not dare chase after Shunsha. A few wives of the estate stewardess were present and saw the scene clearly, but they opted to turn a blind eye and just collect the things they were sent to collect before leaving. Okay. The Angyonggong. Oh my gosh. Yogong is a title, and An is the name of the title. Kind of like the Duke of Winchester. An is Winchester. Just that it's not a geographical descriptor. It's a name. An means peace, so Ongyolgon basically means the Duke who maintains the peace of the country. Something like that. Okay. Because each person I know can have like several different names. Yeah, same when I was reading Scum Villain. I was reading Lil Kungi's name wrong until I saw the anime. Yeah. We trying though. We trying and we appreciating. The Angyonggong residence had a flower garden, and this flower garden was separate from the main residence by a meandering corridor. The Jiji's residence, called Zhukyo Hall, was located at the other side of the flower garden. When Shunja returned to Zhujing Hall, the maids had already boiled ginseng soup, and Yingkyul. Who's Yingkyul? Guess we're about to find out. Yingkyul was holding a tureen of it in her hands. When Yingkyul saw that Shunsha, I keep looking at like how you pronounced it in chat, so thank you for that. When Kyun saw that Shunsha had returned empty-handed, she couldn't help but sigh. It's not like Zhokyun Hall doesn't have ginseng. Why bother fighting those people? Because she's a brat. Because she's a full-ass brat and she wanted to. Shunsha took the turning and ginseng soup and entered the house. Her eyes filled with tears as she looked at the person lying unconscious on the bed. This mansion is full of people who are all too ready to kick us when we're down. If I didn't go to make life a little difficult for them, would we be even worse off while Shishi is still recovering? She said grimly. Grimly, the unconscious person on the bed was Lord Jing, the Shishing of Ingrogong. I know I'm getting these wrong, but Here we go. So this is the main character. His body lay motionless on the bed in a face-down position, and his silk underclothes had been carefully cut open at the back, revealing a back that had been beaten black and blue. Cruel wounds crisscrossed all over the pale skin, and injuries at his lower back and buttocks were even worse. And the bedsheets he lay on had small blood stains. It was a terrible sight. Father, if you marry off your only legitimate son to the crown prince, who are you intending to inherit the Engyongong's position? You bastard! Is this how your grandfather taught you to speak to your own father? Beat him hard. Spare the rod and spoil the child. I'll show you that I'm not derelict in my parental duty. So he was literally just like, listen, if you marry me off to the crown prince, who's gonna inherit this? Cause I'm the heir? And it was just like, well, you were so ungrateful, blah, blah, blah. Dang. He's marrying him off to the crown prince. Lo Jing opened his eyes, his head drenched in sweat. There wasn't a single inch of his body that wasn't screaming in pain. Zhi, you're awake, a bright and lively voice called out. This was probably his personal attendant, Zhuanjia. So, she is actually his personal attendant. The Chinese for this is, which means that Zhuanjia is the most senior and highest ranked maid in his household. She will also function as his personal attendant. The equivalent in Western culture would probably be the head butler. Oh, that's really cool. As always, you should definitely share it. I want to see the art. Sweat saturated Lu Jing's long eyelashes, blurring his vision. Zhuanjia quickly took a handkerchief and wiped his sweat away. Lu Jing blinked, and the scene before his eyes slowly came into focus. How long was I out for? He asked, his voice hoarse. He tried to move his body. It hurt like hell, but he could do it. So that meant that he hadn't broken any bones. Only about 6 hours, Zhuanjia replied. She looked at Lu Jing's handsome face, which was presently as white as a sheet. Her eyes couldn't help but redden at the sight, and she turned away to wipe tears that welled up. She took the warm tea that Yingqiu handed her and fed this to him carefully. Lu Jing felt a bit better after drinking the tea. What happened while I was unconscious? He asked. I'm not sure what happened at the main residence. When I saw you, you were being carried back by servants from the main residence of Yongqiu's order. They just left after depositing you, and no one sent for the imperial physician. Guard Yao applied some ointment to your wounds, and I fed you some ginseng soup. Zhuanjia replied comprehensively. Her eyes flashed with resentment. So he straight up, like, beat his son into, like, unconsciousness. And was just like, just throw him back in his residence. He don't need a doctor. I'm just one hell of a Zhuanjia. Yes. The Gong was part of a high nobility, and because of this, he and his family could only be treated by imperial physicians. They were not allowed to be treated by ordinary doctors. If Zhuogong Yi refused to send for the imperial physician, then lowly guards and maids were in no position to do so. But Shixi's injuries were very severe. Shouldn't the Zhuogong Yi worry that Shixi shouldn't be able to survive them? I don't think he cares if he survives them or not. Lu Jing pressed his lips together in a thin line and was silent for a long while. Send for Giao Yi, he finally said. Lu Jing's father returned from the palace the day before in high spirits, and announced that the emperor had arranged a good marriage for their family. It was only this morning when he went to greet his father that he found out the good marriage was his. He was to marry the crown prince and become the crown prince's consort. The crown prince and Jing were both men. There wasn't really anything to celebrate about marriage between two men. Even if one put this fact aside, he was the only legitimate son of the Gong and the official heir to the peerage. If he married into the imperial family, that meant he could no longer succeed his father. There was a strict rule on succession, and only sons born to the legitimate wife of the Gong could inherit the position. If there was no one to inherit, the peerage would simply disappear. Surely his father was not foolish enough to let that happen. It was an entirely illogical move, and he had only asked two perfectly logical questions. These perfectly logical questions had, however, caused his father to punish him harshly according to their family rules. Before long, a solidly built man dressed in a brown shirt and pants entered. He knelt on one knee before Lu Jing's bed. Jiji, Jiogongyi has changed all of all the hall's guards. All the entrances are strictly guarded by new people, he said in a low voice. On hearing this, Lu Jing could not stop his lips from curling into a cold smile. Was his father afraid that he'd run off? Or that he'd tell people about what happened? He couldn't even get out of the bed. It was nigh impossible for him to pass information or to try to wreck the wedding. His father was really thorough. He had to give it to him. Bring me a brush and ink. He was not going to wait like a sitting duck. Lu Jing struggled to sit up, and sweat fell like rain from his forehead. He felt for a secret compartment in the bed with trembling fingers, opened it, and pulled out a white jade bottle. He shook out a pill of medicine, swallowed it, and closed his eyes for a few seconds, some color returning to his face. The medicine was developed for use on the battlefield. It allowed the gravely injured to continue to fight, and also had pain-killing effects. However, this medicine had harmful side effects that had to be eaten sparingly. What are you saying over here? So he's just gonna sell his son in ancient China. Yes. Probably has another wife somewhere with a kid. Can we just stick to visual novels? Are you not having fun? Lu Jing quickly wrote a few letters, taking the opportunity to do so whilst the drug effects were in full force. He gave the letter to Giao Yi. Find a way to get these out. These absolutely have to reach the recipients, he instructed. Yes, sir, Giao Yi said, sliding the letters into the folds of his clothes. He bowed his head respectfully and then left, swift as the wind. It was hot and stuffy inside the house, and Jing got a servant to open the windows. A breeze blew in, dispersing his cool fragrance emanating from the three-legged jade incense pot all over the room. Junjia was afraid that her Ying would be bored just lying on the bed, so she amused him by telling him what happened with Granny Zong early in the day. Is that so? Lu Jing narrowed his eyes, his voice calculative. Granny Zong would only dare to act this way if she had been instructed to do so, and the person instructing her was likely to be the Gong Furin. The current Furin became his stepmother 3 years ago. So, yeah, his dad has a new wife. So, of course, he's wanting to get rid of his, son. That is not fatherly behavior. You don't kick out your son, but he really hates him, don't he? I just realized I didn't have Twitch pulled up. Yeah, we're going to read this today. If people don't like it, I'll go back to some visual novels, but I just wanted to try this out. this up real quick. Oh, hello! We do have a viewer over on Twitch. Hello! Is this going to be a story about two guys who think they're straight and deny their feelings? It's been a while since I read this, but no. They actually do the do, and they realize they really start caring more about each other. The guy he's marrying is actually a good guy. If you listen, it says Submissive Emperor. The current Furin became his stepmother 3 years ago, and while she was overbearing in her management of the household, she had never dared to touch him in the past. She must have had some backing to act now against him. Did this backing have anything to do with his upcoming marriage to the crown prince? I think it possibly can. Probably, yes. It's refreshing to see Danmei that isn't a transmigration. Yeah, it seems like there's a lot of transmigration, but they're actually not? It's weird. Weird to explain. Sunset. Jiao Yi had still not returned. What came instead was an imperial degree. Eunuch Hyo is here to personally proclaim the imperial degree, and Angelo Gong requests Shiji's presence in the main courtyard. Zhouji informed Lao Jing. Lao? Is it Lao or Lo? I think it's Lao. Yes, I am interrupting the story flow, but I want to know. Let's see how bad I've been I've been saying this.
Lu Jing.
Lo?
Lu Jing. Lu Jing.
Lo Jing. Okay, Lo Jing. I guess like Lo Bin Ho, so. Zhonjia informed Lo Jing. Ying Qiu had blocked the main resident steward from entering Lo Jing's bedroom, and Zhonjia had quickly come in to get Lo Jing's instructions. The servants of Zhuqiu Hall were indignant on Lo Jing's behalf. It was obvious that their Shiji couldn't even stand up properly, and it was completely ridiculous for the main residents to expect him to kneel and receive imperial degree as if he was hale and whole. This Yu Zhongyi was just too cruel. Lo Jing raised his eyebrows and adjusted himself to a more comfortable position. Still lying chest down on the bed. Tell them this. I fainted because my injuries were too severe. When my attendant asked for ginseng aid my recovery, this was refused. My father wants me to receive the imperial degree. He'll have to get his servants to carry me over, he said. Zhonjia laughed with amusement on hearing this. She had originally been red-faced with anger, and this rabid reply lifted her spirits immensely. Yes, sir, she said, her voice lively. As she turned, she arranged her face into a suitable, despondent look and went to speak with the steward. I usually multitask while watching your video, but I feel I have to pay close attention when it's a novel. Okay. I gotcha. Oh god, I lost my spot. Okay. This bastard, Ying Yonggong nearly had an epilepsy after the steward conveyed Lu Jing's words. Lu Jing was a strong, healthy young man, and those injuries should not have been anything of note. Also, surely, Zhu Xinghao had at least one ginseng. However, in Yu He's presence, he didn't dare kick up a fuss. Eunuch Hai was the chief of staff at the palace, after all. He glowered at the Furin. Why did you go and mess with him? He hissed. Furin felt that Inglogon was being extremely unfair to her, but didn't dare to say too much while they still had guests in their home. She clenched a handkerchief in her hand, willing to keep herself calm. Unglogon turned to face Eunuch Hai, a pleasant expression plastered on his face. Please excuse my son. He's gone out gallivanting again, and we're not sure where he is now. He is a very stubborn and disobedient fellow, as you can see. Ha ha! They lying. Why is every woman in Danmei have to be pure hell? Eunuch Huo's name was Haizong. He had climbed his way to the top of the palace hierarchy and was an intelligent, crafty fellow. He was well aware of the discord between father and son. However, the right thing to do was smile and pretend to know nothing. And that's exactly what Eunuch Hao did. The proclamation of the imperial degree cannot be delayed, since it's a degree meant for the Inglongong household. Yogong Yi and Furin can receive it, he said. Translator. Oh, so many translations for this chapter, and so much old Chinese that doesn't translate very well. I took some liberty with the translation, so it's not very literal, but I promise the meaning is there. And this chapter was translated by Eleanor. Thank you, Eleanor. You did a lovely job. But that is chapter 1, setting up the scene here. Oh, poor guy. Poor guy. Let's see. How long have we been... Oh, 41 minutes. Not bad. Not bad. Do you guys want another chapter today? Let's see. I don't even know what's happening in the story. Is it about a translator? What? Oh no. Let's see, how long is this chapter? It's a little long. Oh no, you don't even know what's happening in the story? Oh no. I guess I did a bad job. The story is, pretty much there is a, well, it's like an equivalent of like a duke, and, he made like an agreement to marry off his only heir, or his heir apparent, to the prince. Or the emperor? Is it the emperor or the prince? But whatever. To marry him off to, like, the prince. So, it's one of those. The prince was, or the, Lu Jing was just like, Dad, are you okay? If you sell me off, if I do this, we're not, our family's going to, like, you know, collapse, and, you know, it's gonna go away. Because you won't have an heir, so family line's just gonna die. Because I can't take over and be a consort. That's knocking me out of the running, making me a consort. And, so, he said that, and his dad got mad at him and beat the living heck out of him. Like, blah, 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 blah. And, so he was, like, knocked unconscious, laying in his bed, and his butler went out and was trying to get some ginseng tea to, like, help him, but I think she's also being a little spiteful, which, understandable now. Understandable she was being a little spiteful. But, so, his father didn't call for the imperial, like, healer to, like, come and, like, treat his wounds. So, his poor maids were I guess we just clean the wound, maybe. So, because they're not really allowed to treat him. So, and oh god, so he's having a bad day. He's having a bad day, and then he's supposed to like show up for Imperial summons, which is basically the royalty showing up, being like, "Hey, yeah, you're gonna be you're gonna be married into our family. You need to come out here and let us talk to you." And the dad's like, "Oh, he should be able to come out here. It was just a little beating." So, yeah, that was a quick summary of the chapter for you. Can I get a link? I want to read it. Yeah, I'm going to have a link down below. I really enjoyed I really loved this. I remember when I was reading it a couple of years ago, I stayed up way later than I was supposed to and just like binge read it. And I really got into it because Jing, I love his attitude. And whenever the Emperor gets introduced, I think you're really going to like it more because they're of their interactions. And Jing is like in the female position because he's being married in, but if I remember correctly, he ends up being the top. I think. So that's why it's submissive emperor. Ha 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 ha. You didn't do a bad job. I was just teasing you for how much you're using translator. Well, I said I was going to translate a lot. We're learning Chinese today. Yes, we are. Alright, so that took us about 30 minutes to read a chapter. Shall we try another chapter? Because this is bestowing a marriage, so they're going to be get married in this one. Let's see. So we get to meet the Crown Prince. Bum bum bum. Yeah, it's 1:45. We could read another chapter. I am going to put a poll up on the community page on YouTube for everybody to vote what they want me to live stream next week. So, let's see. Ongyongong's name was Lao Jiangyu, and his courtesy name was Bongsang. His body was tall and slender, and he had elegant facial features. The Englongong post was a military one, but he looked far more like a civil minister than a military general. After seeing off Hyozong with a smile, Lo Jiangyu made straight for Zhongxinyang. So the dad is actually handsome. The dad is handsome. And once he saw off the Zong, he's going straight to his son's residence. Like, boy, why didn't you get up? Divine Speaker, I missed them, but the last live of them was disappointing. I saw enough smut for a lifetime. Yeah, the Divine Speaker, okay, we're pausing real quick, but the Divine Speaker, I need to buy the guide so I can see when the next smut scene is, because I got in trouble for the last live I did of them, so that's why I'm hesitant to go into it again, because it seems like the scenes are just getting more frequent. That's why I may pre-record them and post them instead, because I did get in trouble over that. I was wondering how the bottom could beat up if they were supposed to be flawless. Okay. Alright, back into it. Upon the Taizong Emperor's death, the Empress Dowager took control of the government with her young son. Chaos plunged the imperial court as a result, and the vassal kings grew in power and influence, destabilizing the power balance in the emperor. The Xizang Emperor nearly died in the conflict, and to prevent this from happening again, proclaimed that henceforth the empress had to be a man. He also decreed that once the crown prince had been named, he was to cut ties with his biological mother and be brought up by this male empress. The Xizang Emperor had already been buried for more than 100 years, but this policy was still in effect today. Since the implication of the male empress policy, the imperial court had stabilized. But Lo Jing could not be happy about this when he was now the subject of the policy. Hello, Nightjar. Welcome in. How's your guys' day been? It's been okay so far. Okay, so basically, this kingdom, in case you guys couldn't understand that, in this kingdom, one of the former empress, like, pretty much screwed up everything. So a new policy was set in place that, the empress has to be a man. So when the crown prince, is named, he has to cut ties with his biological mother and be brought up by the male empress. So, this is not like an Omegaverse thing. It is like literally the baby will be born, but once it's named, it is taken away from its biological mother and is raised by the male empress. So, having a male empress that doesn't actually have the biological children is supposed to help stabilize by lack of like conflict, I guess, or whatever. But I will say from what I remember, the male empress that our boy is gonna go meet, the Empress Dowager or whatever, he's actually really cool. I really enjoy him. He's nice. Lo Jing, son of the Anglongong, is well versed in literature, skilled in martial arts, and is of pleasing countenance. A marriage is hereby bestowed upon him to the crown prince Zhao Xinzhong. Lo Jing gasped at the bright yellow brocade bearing the imperial dragon motif and was speechless for some time. Zhou Jingyou smirked internally on seeing his son's expression. The imperial edict has already been passed. Don't do anything foolish, he says. Father, Lu Jing said, raising his head slowly. His voice was calm and unruffled, like the steel surface of an ancient lake. His only question, why? Lo Jing considered himself a respectful and filial son. He had never disobeyed his father, and had always greeted him as was required in the morning, evening, save for the years he was out fighting the war with his grandfather. And yet, his father had asked his guards to flog him for no good reason. He kept asking himself why his father treated him, his own flesh and blood, so badly. Lo Jiang didn't respond, and left with a dramatic flourish of his long sleeves. But kinda, I wish someone would try to take my kid away. I can never live in this novel. It only applies to the crown prince. All the other princes can, like, stay with their mom and everything. It's cool. The moon was high in the sky when Jiangyi finally returned. When he heard that the imperial decree had already arrived earlier in the afternoon, he couldn't help but be surprised. It actually happened that quickly? Lo Jing accepted the letter and replied that Jiaoling held... Okay, I'm butchering the names, guys. I am sorry. You're here. You have to deal with it. Gao Yi handed him. When you go to the village, bring 2 people with the right skills back. The situation was worse than he had anticipated, and he had to prepare for the worst. The imperial decree had already been passed, and there was no room for negotiation. His father would not give him an ounce of pity either. In these circumstances, having more people by his side could only be beneficial. So he sent somebody out to try to find people to help him. Yes, sir, Gally has said. Lines of worry appeared on his usually calm and resolute face. Gigi, what are you going to do about this? What can I possibly do? Lao Jing put down the letters and closed his eyes. When he reopened them, there was some amusement in his eyes. The marriage will be confirmed on the 20th day of the 8th month, and the ceremony will take place on the 2nd day of the 9th month. The emperor is anxious to get this done, and his loyal subject, I naturally have to support him. I already forgot how to say her name. Zhonshija. Zhonsha? It said, worried. She wondered if Lo Jing was so furious that he lost his mind. Gao Ying knew better. When Shishi behaved this way, it meant that he had a plan in mind, so he took his leave with peace of mind. Oh my god, I forgot it. Bro, if someone took my kid, it's death on sight. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Shuansha. Okay. Shuansha was afraid that Lo Jing would get a fever in the night, so she stationed herself in the room next door, dismissing the servant who was rostered to attend Lo Jing that night. She's like, no, I'll take care of him. Zhou Kongha sank into silence. The sound of the night breeze whistling softly through the bamboo grove in the front yard filled the air. It sounded like withered grass rustling in the desert wind and made one feel inexplicably desolate. Lo Jing looked at the bright moon outside his window, doing his best to recollect what the crown prince was like. Lo Jing had gone with his grandfather to fight the war when he was 11 years old, and had only returned to the capital 2 years ago. This boy has been off fighting in war since he was 11, and he came back and his dad's like, oh yeah, I'm marrying you off, and beats him. Well, that's lovely. He came back to observe the 3-year mourning period for his grandfather. He didn't remember much about the crown prince, who rarely interacted with the children of the nobility. He could have met the crown prince at the autumn hunt last year. The nobility were invited to this event, but the crown princess said he was ill and didn't participate. The crown prince, in his mind's eye, was still the serious-faced little boy he met as a child, who was dressed in apricot yellow robes and gave him wolfsea candy. Oh, look at the candy! That's the candy! Is a type of, wolfsea candy is a type of ancient Chinese sweet. It actually looks soft, doesn't it? It doesn't look hard. I think that would actually be, like, soft to bite into. Hopefully. I want some. Eastern Palace. Chongren Hall. So, we at the palace now. In the dark of the night. Oh, God. Oh, Anastasia popped in my mind. In the dark of the night, evil will find her. In the dark of the night, just before dawn. Okay. In the dark of the night, the cool moonlight flowed like water on the vermilion glazed palace tiles, which made the imperial palace seem particularly lonely. Lord Jing was beaten? In the moonlight, a slender hand grasped a small paper note. Apricot yellow sleeves enclosed the wrist attached to that hand. The voice that spoke was calm and pleasant, a bit emotionless. This was the crown prince, Zhao Qingjong, the master of the Eastern Palace. Yes, the man said next to him. He was dressed like a scholar, and he stood with his hands respectfully folded in front of him. Dongjong has kept this matter very quiet. I'm afraid even His Majesty the Emperor is unaware of this. So the prince knows his future husband was beaten. That candy looks like a round wafer. It kind of does. Zhao Qizhong nodded slightly. The hand that grasped the note moved towards the candle, and the snow-white paper burnt to ashes. Jiang, Jiangxia. That's literally like talk royalty. I know that word, but I don't remember how to say it. That's pretty much, addressing him as a prince. Maybe if I type in the correct place. Oh, I hear something vibrating. Hang on. Okay, hang on. I'll be right back, guys. Okay, I'm back. Blah, blah, blah. Wow, this is definitely not going to get kidnapped by someone. Oh, the music ended. That's why it's so quiet. Okay. Do you guys want the music back on? Let me know. And I'll restart it if you do. Because we outlasted the music. Okay.
Dianxia. Dianxia.
Dianxia. Dianxia. Okay. Dianxia. If, Shize is dissatisfied with his marriage, letting him marry into the Eastern Palace may not be the best idea. There was a worry in the man's voice. The Empress and the Crown Prince Consort had never been chosen from a family with only one legitimate son. Further, the Gong family was not regular nobles. They were part of high nobility, of the Zongying aristocracy. The group of families descended from the founding fathers of the country. Making Lo Jing marry into the imperial family would effectively extinguish a founding family. How could the emperor have made such a foolish decision? It's fine. I want to focus. Okay. No music. We good. Okay, I'm actually going to close that tab. There we go. Zhao Qingjong languidly folded his hands behind his back. He obviously had no intention of replying, but it wasn't clear whether he wanted the man to continue or not. The man went on speaking, even though he wasn't sure what the crown prince's intentions were. The Luo family is a prominent one, but it has very few descendants. They are not very useful to Jiangxi. Moreover, the Shiji was raised by the old Anglo-Gong himself. Where they're saying old, they're talking about his grandfather, where he was raised by his grandfather. Last year, during the autumn hunt, Lo Jing placed first in hunting, riding, and archery, and received the title of Yojing Zhonglong General of the Fourth Rank. So, his husband-to-be, our Lo Jing, is very, very good at hunting, riding, archery, and he was raised by, a good warrior, so... None of the other nobility of his generation can hold a candle to him. He is truly a rare gem. Alright. Even if he's a solo heir, I'm seeing why the current emperor is like, yeah, I want that guy for my son. That's because he's not the only legitimate son. Yeah, did his... Oh... There's no other legitimate heirs right now. What if his stepmom is pregnant and that's why his father's trying to kick him out ASAP? Riding, you say? Oh yeah, he's very good at riding. The unspoken warning was clear. Caging a matchless talent like Lo Jing in the Honggong. The Honggong is what the imperial consorts are called collectively. Like harem, pretty much. It means the back palace because in ancient China, women were kept at the back, out of sight. A woman's body can only be seen by her husband's. You know? It can also mean the place where they live. In this case, it refers to the group of people. Caging a matchless talent like Lo Jing in the Hongyong was not just a pity, it was downright dangerous. Brilliant men were not often without high ambitions. I'm not worried. Zhao Qiyong raised his hand, cutting through the man's anxious counsel. If his imperial father wanted him to marry Lo Jing, he must have had his reasons. And anyway, the imperial edict was already passed. It was water under the bridge at this point. King really said, I know my son is the wife, so I'm going to get him the strongest husband. He did. Imagine he's pregnant with the girl. Oh, yeah, that'd put a damper on their plans, wouldn't it? The next day, Jiang Ying went to the village outside the capital and bringing back two black-clad, assured-looking young men with him. This is Yongqi. The names of all these fellows have this format. Oh yeah, I remember this. The names of all these fellows have this format. Cloud, insert number from 1 to 16. Yon means cloud. For these two, they're called Cloud 7 and Cloud 8. It sounds dumb in English, so I've just kept their names in Chinese. The numbered naming format is common for the Chinese equivalent of ninjas. We got ninjas now. They're called by many different names, but in this book they're called Shishi, death guards. They are expected to give their lives for their master without a thought. How can humans be bequeathed, you asked? In ancient China, everyone was someone's property, except the emperor. If you were the emperor, everyone was, and everything under the sky was your property. Alright! This is Yomba. So this is cloud something. So we got some clouds here. Jiao Yi said by way of introduction. Yongqi's specialty is healing wounds, and Yomba's is gathering information. So we got Yongqi and Yomba. Yongqi and Yomba were kneeling on the ground, and Jiao Ying pointed at each of them as he spoke. These two were part of the Yuyong 16, elite Shinji, bequeathed to him by his grandfather. His grandfather gave him 16 ninjas. Like, loyal only to him ninjas. Well, ninjas are Japanese, but this is the Chinese equivalent to ninjas. So, sneaky boys. So, his grandfather left him 16 of these guys that are completely loyal to him. That's pretty cool. One is good with healing wounds, and one is good with gathering information. This is making me want to write a fanfic so badly. Do it! Lo Jing nodded. These Shishi were the best of his grandfather's guards. Their existence were top secret. Even his own father didn't know about them. He was reluctant to use them on mundane things. That was how much he valued them. I asked you two to come here as an absolute last resort. Don't do anything until the situation is really dire, he instructed. When Lo Jing received the imperial edict, it was already the 17th day of the 8th month. Lo Jing had no idea. So that means he's getting married in 3 days. Whenever he was told, hey, you're getting married. He's getting married in 3 days. Oh my god. Lo Jing had no idea what possessed the imperial oracles to set the wedding date less than half a month away on the 2nd day of the 9th month. Okay. Wait. 20th. Oh, Huh? Okay, whatever. He's got 15 days. on the 2nd day of the 9th month. Okay. The schedule was incredibly tight, and the servants of the Onglong main estate was extensively busy, scurrying around and preparing for the upcoming wedding. In contrast, Gigi's Zhongqing Hall was calm, quiet, and under heavy guard. With Yongqui around to attend his wounds, Luo Jing's external wounds were healing well. Even so, it was unlikely that he would be more than 30% healed by the wedding day. The Anglong Furin, his stepmom, whose maiden name was Wei, learned a hard lesson the day she refused to give Luo Jing the ginseng, and didn't cross him again. To the contrary, she even sent him herbs to aid with his healing, like ginseng and luoran. Lao Jing didn't bother with her. He was too busy gathering information. I'm loving this as an actually loving family, and the emperor doesn't have daddy issues and abusive. Well, Luo Jing's family isn't the best. His dad and his stepmom are horrible, but his grandfather is awesome. His grandfather was awesome, and the emperor's side is all really nice too. So it's just Luo Jing's mom and stepmom and dad. That's horrible from what I remember. Yeah, I love the 16. They're awesome. Even the grandfather was like, "Yeah, I'm not telling my son about this. Only my grandson. He gets these boys. He gets my guards." But that's pretty cool that Yojing of the 16 clouds, he's good at healing. So they're like, "Hey, we're not going to send you an imperial healer, so guess what? I'm bringing my own." And from what I remember, he has these 16 like set up on this nice little countryside, this nice little cabin and everything. So they got like this chill landscape to go live at in the country and let till they're needed, from what I remember. So it's like really cool. Let's see. GC, Yao Ying said, walking in. He had a strange expression on his face. I saw young Master Jiming climb over the wall. Zhaoxi? Lao Jing raised his eyebrows and looked up from the book he was reading. He had been lying chest down in the bed as usual. Bring him in. Before long, a young voice ran out, clear as a bell. Your family's guards are becoming more and more boorish, Zhao Zi complained. You should send them to study with me for 2 years. I'll teach them some manners. My guards can't read. If they want to study with you, they'll sully the good name of Zhao Jiangyi. Jiayong is a scholarly title given to the scholar who places first in the provincial imperial exams. Okay, so smart boy. Luo Jing glanced sideways at the fellow who was busily straightening his clothes, and a fondness crept into his eyes. Zhao Ji looked to be only 15 or 16 years old, had delicate features, and the unique scholarly air of the Jing Nyong illiterati. When did you get to the capital, and why didn't you send word? So this is one of his friends. The men of Zhao family were all scholars and government officials. Zhao Shi, the second uncle, was Zhao Zhan, the current minister of the left. So this guy's uncle is an important person. The two highest ranking ministers in the imperial court are the minister of the right and the minister of the left. So very important people, which I will sometimes shorten to left minister and right minister in this translation. They are usually from opposing factors, and they function to balance each other out, much like the adversary politics of today. It's alright, they don't matter. All matters is Grandpapa. He does. You know the son is trash if his father is not even interacting with him. Yeah, his dad doesn't give a flying flip about him. Okay. Ordinarily, silver government officials didn't have much opportunity to interact with the nobility, but Zhao Shi was an exception. He had lived with his uncle and studied in the capital in his childhood. and had met Lao Jing entirely by chance. That meeting proved to be surreptitious. The two got along like a house on fire from the very start. Zhaoji was very well bred, even as a child, with a refined face that belied his mischievous nature. Whenever he and Lo Jing were in the capital at the same time, the two were inseparable. So this is like his best friend. 2 years ago, Zhao returned to Jinma to bury himself in preparation for taking the provincial imperial examination. At the tender age of 14, he placed first and obtained the title of Jing. So he got that title because he placed first in an exam, but he was 14 when he took it. He's a very smart boy. The way your avatar's neck cranes when you read chat. Like, nee. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, it looks really bad. Let's see if I can... Because I have it, like, propped up over there. Maybe if I move it over here. Because I don't really need... I don't need the keyboard, do I? I don't think I do. I'm moving it out of the way. Ugh. No, don't fall. There. I got the chat in front of me. And the keyboard's gone. I don't have a keyboard no more. I just have a mouse. So, is that better? I'll be doing this instead, reading chat. Baba. Okay. Da-da-da. Okay, a little better. So I'm not like, ee. Okay. Oh god, where were we? Jiaxi was only the 9th child in the Zhao household, but his achievements were the most outstanding. The rest of his siblings and cousins were no match for him. His family was absolutely thrilled with his achievements, and his grandfather gave him the courtesy name Jiming, even though he had not come of age yet. In ancient China, you usually only get your courtesy name when you come of age, around 20 years old. So you have like your name from when you're a child, and then you get like your courtesy name that people are going to address you by as an adult. But they gave him his name early because they're so thrilled with his achievements. So he's got his courtesy name at like age 14, 16. So, very smart kid. I know Lao Jing is early. Our main boy is older than him. Grandpa said I was way too nosy at home and gave him a headache, so he made me come and take next year's imperial exam in the capital. I thought I'd give you a nice surprise, but when I got here, the first thing I heard that you're the crown prince's fiancé? Zhao Jing grinned and sat down on the bed with a flourish. He accepted the drink King Quang offered him and gulped the tea down in a few mouthfuls. Thanks, Jiji. Could I trouble you for another? He asked sweetly. Jiji is a mode of address for an older female who is still a young lady. King Kyung hid a smile in her hanky and poured him another cup of tea. Oh, he's got everybody wrapped around his finger, doesn't he? That's so confusing. Imagine getting a new name at 20. I swear, Wei Wuxian and Ling Wanji got their courtesy names at 15. Did they? I don't remember. I know Ling Wanji had another name once he got older. The long one that starts with an H that I can't remember. Hang on, I was checking Twitch. I normally have them pulled up side by side, but... Okay, nothing's going on Twitch. Okay. Zhao Ji raised his chin meaningfully, and on seeing this, Gao Ying and Ying Qi left the room. I sought an audience, but Engel and Gong refused my request, Jing Ji said after the servants left. The mirth vanished from his face instantly, and his brows knitted together. He's confined you? In response to his request for an audience, Engel Ngongang said that his Shiji was not at home. Zhao Zi then went to the northern barracks, but the left commander general of the Yulin troops stationed there told him that Lu Jing hadn't been seen for days. It was then he realized something was off, so he decided to just jump into Yujing Hall and find out what was going on. Yep, that's best friend material. Go to the dad. Hey, I know your son's at home. He's my best friend. I want to talk to him. He's not home. Okay. Go to like the army where he's stationed, the barracks, be like, hey, is he here? No, he's not here. He's like, okay, I'm just gonna jump the wall and break into the house. Yeah, there we go. Oh, Hyungjong Jun. They all have 3 names. Yeah, that name. Lord Jing put down the book in his hand and slowly shifted in his position on the bed. I suppose you could say that, he replied. Zhao Ji looked at Lu Jing's indifferent expression and was suddenly confused. So, you're just gonna obediently marry the crown prince? All these years, he had never understood why the Angyonggong disliked Lu Jing, but at the same time, Lu Jing had never been one to take things lying down. Why was Lu Jing giving up so easily this time? Look, I can't even walk right now. What would you have me do? Lu Jing asked lazily, yawning. Marrying into the Eastern Palace isn't all that bad. At least I won't have to go fight wars anymore. My father will have to kowtow to me when we meet. That is right. His dad's gonna have to bow to him anytime they meet in the future. After he's married. Zhao Ji was beyond irritated. You know that the emperor highly favors his Gyulfi. Gyulfe are one of the highest ranked imperial consorts. And the crown prince's power is declining. Do you think you'll have a good life marrying into the Eastern Palace? What if the crown prince is like the emperor and isn't attracted to men? Luo Jing looked slowly at the agitated Zhao Ji and gave a genuine laugh of appreciation. Zhao Ji, I count my blessings that you're my friend. Even if my father beat me to death for having you as a friend, it would be worth it. So it's like your birth name, Longzhan, Longwanji, Hyunjanji, John. Yeah. Let him bow and step on the back of his head and make him and his wife eat dirt, literally. Oh, if I remember right, they get their comeuppance, so. It was Zhao Ji's nature to be irrelevant, even towards the imperial family, but Zhao Ji was probably the only person he knew who would place his interests for all else, even if that meant committing the sin of insulting the imperial family. Pah, stop it spouting this emotional bullshit, Zhao Ji returned. Lao Jing's expression became serious. The imperial edict has already been passed on this matter, and there's absolutely no way to get to the emperor to retract it. Furthermore, have you heard about Ji Yonghun's matter? No, we haven't. Who is this? Jingnang is the name of a particular whole peerages. Like how Anglo is the name of Okay, so this is a military guy. The Chinese have a million aristocratic titles that simply do not translate to English. Ohyol is also a position that can be passed down to a legitimate son, born of the main wife, and is one rank below Gong. Lu Jing's dad is a Gong, and not the Gong we talk about in BL. Lol. Because Gong also means, like, I think that's the top. It means top. It's also part of the high nobility, probably the equivalent of the British peerage's marquis. Okay, so another noble person. Alright, let's see what trouble this guy's gotten into. Are you deleting the stream? No, I think I'm actually going to keep it up because there's nothing bad going on. Oh, one of my kitties is outside looking in like, hello. I'll let you in a minute, bud. Nah, I think the stream will be good to stay up. Unless, like, the translator wants me to take it down. Okay. We'll probably only finish reading this chapter for today. Oh god, where were we? The Emperor seems to want to recall Jing home back to the capital. Zhao Shi could not help but lower his voice when he said this. This was classified information. He only knew this because his second uncle, the Minister of the Left, had shared this with him. And the Minister of the Left only shared something this important with him because he held Zishi in high regard as the genius of the family. Luo Zhang nodded and sighed deeply. I heard that it was the Empress's idea for me to select me as the Crown Prince's consort. Oh, the Empress chose him. So it wasn't the Emperor being like, oh, this would be a good guy. The Empress, he chose him. Which, I really like the Empress, the current Empress. He's really cool. Alright. Thank you for stopping in, Ohilia. I hope you have a good day. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it up, so you can come back and finish it later. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Where were we? Huh? Zhao Shi couldn't hide his surprise. The Empress was a member of the Jing Hall family, and the latter had guarded the southeastern border for many years. His accomplishments in battle were unparalleled. However, if the Emperor was recalling the Jing Hong, to the capital, that could only mean one thing: that he intended to take back Jing Yonghuo's military power. Agreeing to the Empress's choice for the Crown Prince's concubine might have been the Emperor's way of appeasing the Empress. It was odd that the Empress didn't take this golden opportunity to obtain some benefits for the Jing Yonghong family, though. Why did he use this chance to select Luo Jing as Crown Prince's consort instead? Luo Jing had nothing to do with any of this. Luo Jing didn't take any notice of Zhao Shi's shocked reaction. He turned his attention to something else instead. What's the Minister of the Left's impression of the Crown Prince? He asked. Zhao Xing blinked, trying to remember the information. He didn't recall his uncle having a particularly good impression of the Crown Prince. The Crown Prince had always been middling in everything, and didn't really network with anyone. You think there's something wrong with the Crown Prince? He asked. Luo Jing didn't know whether to laugh or cry at this question. Sooner or later, that mouth of yours is going to get you killed, he said, smacking Zhao Jing's head lightly. No one could ask if there was a problem with the Crown Prince. Translator: this book has so much old Chinese. I didn't even realize how much there were when reading, but now that I'm translating it, it's painfully obvious. Translating the Imperial Edicts in particular, brain explodes. Love the friendship between Luo Jing and Zhao Jizo. Alright, that's the end of the second chapter. Yeah, we get some information going, like the Empress is the one that chose Luo Jing for the consort, or being the consort, and it's kind of like, why? Because he could have like chose someone from his own family to help get more power, but he didn't. He chose him. And his best friend showed up to gossip. And his future husband knows he got beat and he's not happy with it. But okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's see. There they are. I think it's going to be blurry if I blow it up, but there they are. There's Luo Jing, and there's his future husband. They're very cute. But let me know if you guys enjoyed it and you're looking forward to another session of reading, because I would love to read more of this to you guys, because their interactions are really cute from what I remember. But the author is Lev Ki Kwan Hee. I'm gonna have a a link down below so you guys can come here yourself. Bye. Yeah, I did. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that, Nightjar. Hopefully I will have another stream in the future so we can read some more. Because we still got 100 chapters to go. But, yeah, I'm going to have a poll up on the channel soon. So please click over there and whenever I post it and vote on what you want us to play next week. And I will see you guys next time.